all doing? It's almost New Year, or maybe by the time this video comes up, it'll already be New Year. So, a happy New Year to all of you, your families, your friends, and everyone. We hope the New Year started for you on a very good note. And to add to that good note, we have come back again with the second episode of our New Year special series. And for the second episode, we have a very special guest. Her name is Priyal Kenny, and she was there in our audio podcast series as well. She is, let me tell you, the long list of her achievements. Out of that long list, I'll tell you short pointers as to what she's doing currently. She is a chartered accountant. She is an international rifle shooter, and she is a national medalist as well. She is the founder of the famous Play and Shine Foundation. She's a Chhatrapati awardee in Maharashtra state, and she has the McKinsey Next Generation Women Leader. She is the McKinsey Next Generation Women Leader alumni, which is a great thing, and she's gonna elaborate on it further as we talk to her. It's a privilege for her to have her back again. She's a very enthusiastic personality and a very humble person. She accepted our invitation in one go, and this time we have her with us to talk about women empowerment, and if or not should women after 23 give up on their careers, their ambitions, and should they how should they be empowered. So she being one of the young women leaders, she's inspiring a lot of women and girls like me to pursue their careers and to fulfill their dreams. We'll talk to her now and try to understand what's up with her life and what are her views about women empowerment. So welcome, Priyal. We are so glad to have you, and we have with us our regular co-host also. Sorry, I forgot to mention that, and he'll also be adding in his perspective. So Priyal, to start with, you just tell us how's the weather in Mumbai and how has been your lockdown? What are your experiences? And yeah, have you just settled into the new normal? Although, in brackets, I don't think we have settled yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite some time that this we kind of know what the new normal is and how life is going to be over the next 2 3 years. But somewhere down there, my heart is like, no, I cannot accept this because I'm a very social and outgoing person. So the fact that we have to set limitations on how much we travel or how much we socialize or how much we hang out, it's kind of very difficult to accept. So yeah, I mean, that is the harsh reality we all have to face. And 2020 has been a very harsh year. I mean, nobody's going to deny it because there was a sudden lockdown, then the pandemic dawned upon us, then there was a virus that was just creating havoc all over the country. There was so much happening. So even if you were at home, it wasn't the best mental state of mind to be in because there was so much of uncertainty then, there's so much of uncertainty now. But thankfully, hope like we should have a vaccine soon and things will be a little better. So fingers crossed. And thank you so much, Lovepreet and Pawan, for inviting me once again, for this feature with CD Bad, because I've previously already done a podcast with you guys, which had been so good. And now, to be able to shoot a video feature, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm sure this is going to be very interactive and fun. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's fun to see you now because we had already heard you. We already knew that she is a very enthusiastic and very out there sort of a personality, very inspiring personality. But when we see her in person, it gives a sudden push. And there were a lot of people actually saying that you should get her on the platform again in the form of a video podcast. And here you go. Here's your surprise for the new year. We have the next generation women leader on the floor today. Well, to all that Priyal said, nobody will disagree. Obviously, it was a little challenging. This year was very difficult and new for everybody. And feelings of, there was fear, there was anxiety, there was stress that creeped in, that was introduced because of the lockdown. But even though the times were so hard, I think the quality of a leader is to keep going. And that's what Priyal has been doing all through this year in the previous months. She has been doing number of things, starting from social work to working on her own firm. She's been working with Deloitte consultancy services, and apart from that, she has also been a part of the Forbes Power Women Summit of 2020, in which she was also featured. So, because this topic is about women empowerment, Priya, let's start with how your experience was, and why did you pick up this topic at first? Because as far as I know, that summit somehow empowered you to talk about certain things which need to be talked about, right? So, what was your observation? How was your experience? And what all were your takeaways from that particular summit?
Yeah, true. The summit really inspired me because it kind of set a trend that, there has to be dialogue around women empowerment. We really need to discuss it. Like, of course, we talk about feminism, we talk about empowerment. We know there is gender inequality. We know there is not a level playing field or a level playing ground for women out there, but like each of us afraid to really, discuss it, or voice that, okay, this is not right, or this is not how it should be, and change is the need of the hour. We don't really discuss that, and especially in a country like India. Today when we talk about should girls be ambitious after 23, it is such a common preconceived notion, or people are just so presumptuous about the fact that, if a woman is too ambitious, it's not going to get her anywhere, because we have set timelines for girls that, they have to get married by a certain age. It's very important to find a good guy. It's very important to start a family, and that is our definition of a settled woman. I mean, why should a woman be defined by the fact of the age she marries, or the guy she marries, or the number of children she has, or how well she manages a family? There is so much more to a woman's life than just, having kids or taking care of a husband or successfully raising a family. And we choose to ignore that time and again. Like, even if we come across an accomplished woman or a successful woman, we will still judge her about the fact that, what her family background is, or how well she's doing in life, because at the end of the day, how settled she is, looked upon or is judged on basis of that. So this really needs to change. We need to appreciate the fact that, women should also have goals. They should also, go after their dreams. They should be given an equal opportunity to, pursue them. And if a sacrifice has to be made in the family, why is it that the woman also has to always, step down from her job, or step down from her dreams? So I think the Forbes Summit was also all about that, because it was about celebrating women leadership. We had women leader speakers coming in, like Melinda Gates and Reshma Saujani, Meena Harris, Melody Hobson. And these women are founders and CEOs of, established companies and enterprises. And when they share their real life experiences, they started off like just you and I. So like the kind of struggle we face today is the same struggle they have gone through themselves, and they've made it big. And that kind of motivates you that, it's okay. It's pretty common to be judged, or to be, discriminated against just on basis of your gender, or just because of the fact you're a woman. But you still need to keep going. You need to keep chasing your dreams. But this discrimination, it's only going to end, or it's only going to change when we talk, when a dialogue is set about empowering women. So that is why, I specifically said that, today's Seedhi Baat feature, let's just discuss about women empowerment.
Amazing. Yeah, that's so true, because as soon as a girl completes her graduation, she's in her early 20s, there are people who just come up to you and simply ask, oh, why don't you get married? Or why didn't you just start looking for a guy for your girl? Or, why do you need to start her PhD? There's no need at all. She can probably just drop that and probably do job. People also define jobs for us, saying that teaching is a good profession for you. Banking is the only good profession for you, because these are safe jobs. You just have to sit, you don't have to do a lot of work. And I'm just standing there and wondering, there are girls who landed in the moon. Which world are you from, and what are you talking, right? That does not make any sense. Because I personally have seen a lot of women, like young girls and women, having so many dreams, and real, trust me, they do have the potential to fulfill those dreams and to accomplish their goals as well, if given a chance. So certain girls
Exactly.
who are lucky enough to get support from their families, from their in-laws as well, in certain cases, even if getting married at a young age is not wrong, guys. We're not trying to give a message here that getting married at a younger age is offensive, is wrong. If you are ready for it, if you are happy, then you should go ahead and get married as soon as possible. Again, we are also not trying to indicate that a domestic woman is not a good woman. Of course, our mothers, they have been housewives for the longest time, and I think being a mother, being a wife, being a homemaker is one separate job, and is a bigger job than any other job that you can do. But for women who really want to pursue something, you want to go into unconventional careers, who want to do something special, I think they should be given a chance, because a lot of women who got family support and who got support from the society have made our country proud and have made their families proud. So I think when you stop a child real from doing something, like this, there's this curiosity in that child that I have to do this, and then the child
Exactly.
goes odd ways to get that stuff done. But if you just if you don't tell anything like that to a child, he'll probably do lesser sins than he would do otherwise when restricted, right?
Exactly.
That's the situation of girls right now. And of course, I think the point she put forth is very valid, because when you just think, stop and think, when you see a woman who's managing her home, who's managing her job, and who's managing everything, her own personal life as well, her personal space as well, which apparently seems missing for girls. It seems like they don't have it, but they do have it. And girls who manage that beautifully, you always look up to them. You get inspired from them,
Exactly.
right? You get motivated from them. Girls like Priyal who are working, if I tell, like I told you, she has a very diverse profile, and that makes her somebody to look up to, right? She makes for a woman who inspires young girls to do multitasking, to manage a lot of things together, to pursue their profession and passion if they are different separately, right? And that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And if you like those women, if you adore those people, if you look up to them, then probably you should be the ones giving chances to your own daughters, your own sisters, your own mothers, and your everybody, whoever is a part, whatever women is a part of your life, and that's very, very important. And the dialogue has to happen, and it's not just about giving women the equal position or giving them what they deserve. It's more of creating a very understanding sort of a society, a very egalitarian sort of a society where you respect each other's emotions as well. You respect each other's dreams, right? So, Pavan, do you have something to add here? Because being a male, I think you'll have a very different, yet a very, very understanding perspective to this. What's it?
First of all, viewers would be very thrilled to know that people like PL have joined CD Bath and made it a very big, so it's a the success go. The credit goes to people like PL who joined us and supported us early on. That being the first point. The second point I would say is whatever PL mentioned about all the, breaking the stereotype, breaking the norms, and going, just going for the what they want. I think women deserve that credit because it's not easy, despite the we have the fact that we are in 21st century, that we are having all sorts of you know I would say stupid ideas that women should not do this. In this context, I am reminded of a norm that, an unwritten norm, I would say, written, going back to the 50s and the 60s. If you remember, those who were actresses, after the marriage, they were forbidden from acting.
Yeah.
But ever, this norm was broken by many South Indian actors and, of course, in most other parts. So that shows that nobody believes such kind of restrictions to be existing, at least in modern India. And PL is an example, and that she is fighting for this and feeling strongly about this is a very encouraging sign. And I would appreciate PL honestly, because we need such people. We need more such women to talk about a lot of things and then, share their experiences with the world out there. And I would also recommend all our viewers to, if you're girls out there and, stepping into the real world, be tough and also go for it. Whatever you like, you have to go for it because there's nothing that can stop anybody, be it a man or a woman in 21st century. It's just all your perspective and your mindset. If you create it strongly and if you go for it, it's all yours. That would be my
We need
submission
more
here.
men like Pavan, I think, who are supportive and who are there to, who got your back. Even if you fall, they won't probably laugh on you and say, I said you should not go for it, but they'll probably encourage you and provide you with the resources that they can. Amazing. Well, Priyal, this brings me to a very curiosity question, sort of a question that, what's if you had to comment on women empowerment in our country, in India, because women empowerment, hashtag women are great. These hashtags are very common, but we don't see all of that happening most of the times in reality, right? So, what's your view
Yeah.
about women empowerment and this fake movement about feminism and stuff? So, because girls are also somewhere going wrong when they say, when they confuse women empowerment and feminism with something called we are the ones and we are the only ones, right? So I want to
Yeah,
know your perspective on this. Yeah.
I mean, women empowerment, if I had to, cast my personal opinion, it's about empowering women because generally, like, we are the most suppressed gender. We are the underrepresented gender when you have to compare, male and female. So if you're talking about gender equality, it's about about empowering women to a point that both the genders reach an equal. Like to me, women empowerment is nothing to glamorize, nothing to glamorous or nothing to fancy. It's just about letting a woman live on her own terms. It is just about letting her follow her personal choice. If she wants to be the way she is, she has all the right in the world to do that. And nobody else is allowed to tell her or to set any kind of restrictions on limit to her. Women empowerment is just as simple as that. It's just about empowering her to be herself, to take her own decisions. I'm not like everybody in life has failures, okay? So even if she's had failures, she shouldn't be looked upon or she shouldn't be ridiculed for it. And that is as simple as what women empowerment is. So if you're talking about any kind of feminist movement or any kind of too fancy about where you think that you can use it as a card to overpower men or to overpower the other gender, well, that is not women empowerment.
For sure.
What we as women should be asking for today is just a level playing field. And since it's 2020, I think that's nothing much that we're asking for. That's what I truly believe.
2021 soon, by the way.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
2 days away, like less than 48 hours now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's high time, guys, because
No, I added just a bit. So I'd like to just add one small thing, and that is, even this women empowerment thing has even reached the heights of, in political circles. You have people talking about it every election, every local election, every state election, and every part, all the way up to the parliament. You have this demand for, more seats for women. The fact is, it's not about more seats for women. Anybody can contest anywhere in today's world. The fact is, you have to make them so confident that she can go to a constituency and defeat the candidate there and get that. That is also women empowerment. It's not about just giving more seats to a certain 33% that we often hear about. That's not really going to help, because you have to make a woman be so convincing as a leader, and that is what I think we have to drive home the message. That it's not just about putting some seats, allotting some seats to women and all that. You have to make sure that the women can stand anywhere and get elected. It's not about all this. This is all a fancy picture that is created just to appear. It's a good-looking thing that people like to see, and of course, the media will believe that. But that's not the case. At the ground reality, there are many instances I have personally come across wherein the leaders at the local level who are elected in a local constituency where the women are given their, it's reserved for women, I would say. But then the real power is, wielded by somebody else. So that kind of that is where this women empowerment movement can just go haywire. We have to ensure that it's not about all these things, but we should go for a real empowerment, even at the political level, not, at various levels. So I'm glad that at some point, even on CD Baat, we have spoken about this earlier and even now. And that's a very good thing to note about.
yeah, there's a little lag, Pavan, in your on your side. It's okay, we got your point, but it's very valid. Of course, I think these kind of things, I think, real they bring down the spirit of the movement, called women empowerment, and giving these privileges. I would say rather giving it in the form of, like, okay, we'll give it just to shut their mouths, is something even more discouraging for us. And even women have to be very responsible, because listen, if you want rights, you got to fulfill your duties as well. So if you are in the beginning of the lockdown, if you remember, there were certain instances where feminism was being brought out in a very wrong manner, I should say. It wasn't justified, at least for me as a woman. I would say, when I'm fighting for my rights, even if I have to fight, I won't do it on the cost of somebody else's life, right, or somebody else's reputation. That's something which brings down the entire concept of women empowerment. And it's a two-way process, and it should be unsaid and undemanded. No, it should be like very natural, happening organically, and nobody has to demand and nobody has to actually give it to somebody. It's nothing to give. It's human rights, come on. That's
Exactly. Like if you're going to talk about empowering a woman, that's only and only happen only and only that will happen if men come ahead and become champions of gender equality, and they really support women in whatever endeavors they take up. But if we are going to use it as a trump card to like like take a grudge against the opposite sex or the opposite gender. It's really not going to work. I mean,
Yeah.
you cannot talk of equality or equal opportunity if you're going to use it as a grounds to, you know, trigger some kind of a fight or some kind of another issue.
You just said what was going on in my heart. And another question for you, Priyal. Do you notice how even the most established and the most successful women are always judged on the basis of, you know, how they manage their families, when did they get married, how many kids do they have, and is their family breaking apart, or is she able to manage it better? I mean, these are sort of judgments that we put on a woman as soon as she walks out of her house. We just put all of this on her, and we start judging her, and totally ignore what she is in reality. So why do you think most of the women give up on their careers, usually after their marriage or in this age? Or, you know, some, you see a lot of women are not even very excited about it anymore. They're very hopeless. They do think that, okay, you know, anyway I'll have to get married. And this is a very common thing that I hear from my friend circle, the near friend circle, that it's okay, you know, Lovepreet, I'll just get married, and probably I don't know what will happen after that, so I don't even have to put that much of an effort. And I'm just wondering, who just got this in your head, and why? You know, because certainly this is the environment that somehow persuades them to start thinking like this. So what's your opinion about this, Priyal?
Yeah, I mean that's very true. In general, the kind of society we live in, generally it's the woman who has to carry the entire burden of the responsibilities. Like something as simple as, like, there are so many examples around us, or even in Bollywood movies, there are so many instances. If the child in the family is spoiled or misbehaves or ventures onto the wrong path, the first thing that we presume, or the first thing that we say is, didn't your mom teach you anything? Didn't your mom hit you when you were small? So the blame of even a wrong upbringing by default goes on the woman, or by default goes on the mother. And it is likewise, if the marriage doesn't work out, we tend to just judge the woman more than the men. And there are so many other things. So there's just so much of burden for every girl or every woman to bear, that, you know, it's very easy to succumb to so much, because you feel you are answerable to so many people around you. You feel you're accountable for each and everything you do, be it your career choice or something even as simple as what you're wearing, or how you behave, or how you carry yourself at family functions. You are judged at each and every step. So a lot of women I've seen just succumb to this, and they're like, okay, fine. I mean, if this is what is expected of me, if this is how I'm supposed to live my life, they just try to fit into the mold, and they just feel that, okay, this is right, and this is the definition of being an ideal woman, or this is the definition of being settled in life. And they just start believing in that entire concept, and they just give up on their dreams. So it really hurts me that you know, they're forced to believe this notion that has been created hypothetically by the society, which is really not needed.
Of course, and this is very valid. This is something very, very true. And amidst this situation, you know, I think me and Pawan, both of us are wondering at this moment that, you know, how do you even manage to do so many things, like so many things, because you are one of those rare girls who has pursued both her passion and a separate profession, both of which being very difficult, being very rare for women in general, right? So I really have this question for you, in the sense, what keeps you motivated to try out new things, and in your journey of becoming a woman leader, and you're still on that journey, and I really hope you stay on this journey until your last breath. What keeps you motivated? Have you faced all of these issues? How much was your society and your people, your community supportive of this? And what all challenges did you see? Because you connect so well with all of it, I'm very sure you must have at some point, you know, personally experienced certain things, and that's why you connect so well with it, right? Because it's usually said a woman is a woman's best friend, and unfortunately in certain cases that does not happen, because of which women land up into very weird situations. And this is something, this is a big subject which we can again keep talking about. But then in your situation, in your case, how was the journey, and how did you get about it?
So, I mean, a lot of credit goes to my parents, because my parents are very supportive. It literally be anything, like, very, very honestly, they didn't see their daughter growing up like this, or, you know, heading towards this. They were very sweet to me when I was a child, and they didn't really have any great expectations out of me. They just wanted me to be an obedient child who did fairly well in her studies, and just did and just followed her heart, or did what she wanted to do. And, you know, then in school I told them I want to become a rifle shooter, and then that came as a surprise. But took things as it came, and then later on I told them I want to pursue chartered accountancy. That was another pleasant surprise. And then later on I told them I want to start my own social organization, and I want to become a social entrepreneur. So every new thing, as much as it is a surprise for me, it is for them. But they have taken things as they come. They've only motivated me, supported me, encouraged me, and even my immediate friend circle. Like, though I'm a very social person, I have a very close knit circle of 5, 7 friends of mine who I really know since school, and they are so supportive. Like majority of them are now abroad, studying at foreign universities or working in a foreign land, but still I am in touch with them. We are in regular contact, and they're so supportive. They keep checking on me. How's the shooting going? How's the NGO work going? How is this going? That going? And every time, if there is something in my mind or there's some element of self-doubt, I choose it to share it with them, and they always tell me that Priya, you do your thing, and you just believe in your potential and just go for it. Don't think about what will be the outcome, whether it will work out, what will anyone else say. So I think these two factors have been my greatest source of support and motivation. And secondly, when it comes to the fact that how I balance so many things, or how I really manage to pull off whatever I'm doing, of course I will not use this platform to brag about it's easy, or I'm a Wonder Woman, or have this exceptional IQ. I do not have any of that. I'm a very ordinary girl. I have to study. I had to study hours to crack my CA exam. I had to train hours for each and every medal that I have in shooting. And likewise, even as a social entrepreneur, I have to really burn the midnight oil if I have to get things done, because it's not easy when you're starting off anything on your own. So it's not been easy, but I have a very clear vision of where I see myself in the next 5 years, or what I want to achieve, or what I want to accomplish. And I will not settle for anything less than that, or I will not choose a life that gives me anything otherwise. So I think that is what keeps me going every day. That is what really keeps me awake till 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, or pushes me out of bed at 5 a.m. in the morning, that, okay, fine, you need to get there, you need to do this. And I feel that 20s and your early 30s, this is the time where you can really challenge yourself. You can take risks. Of course, learning never stops. It's never too late in life to pursue anything. But this is really the time where we can afford to, take some risk, or take a path that is new to you, or that seems very very challenging to you. So I really want to do that. I want to challenge myself. I want to test my potential. And for me, every time I put myself under any kind of pressure test, it has only taught me that yeah, I can push myself further, or I can deliver my best. So I think that always almost works for me.
Amazing. And whatever Priyal said from that, the first thing which I would like to highlight here is you got to have that kind of a family, that kind of a friend circle who's like really supportive, who they organically help you grow better. And I think people who have that, me personally I can relate to Priyal a lot, because I'm almost like her, having multiple things in my mind which I want to do, and I'm having my feet in multiple things at this moment also, and all of those have like no relation with each other whatsoever. But then you have a very supportive family, luckily, and you have a very supportive friend circle, which I have, which I've bragged about enough. I've bragged about them like multiple times by now, and you all know who they are. But I mean, having them is sort of such a relief, and they get you to the point. Even if you're having the worst day in your life and you are the most demotivated, they get you back somehow, help you collect yourself, and then start working again, right? So you always need that push. And whoever is listening to me right now, try to be that source of support and source of motivation for women around. Okay, that's very, very important. If you are that source for them, they'll be forever grateful for you. And the second thing, of course, have this attitude like Priyal, where you don't want to settle for anything less than what you want to be. Of course, life is unfair at times, and there'll be times you'll be coming across a lot of challenges. It is possible you might not achieve exactly what you wanted to achieve, but it's okay. I mean, it's always worth giving a full try, 100% effort put in, and at least work towards that dream, because that path is very enjoyable. That journey itself is very wonderful. And maybe when you reach very close, you realize, okay, maybe not this, maybe I want to do something else. That altogether means that you're changing your path, but that journey which you completed is going to give you a lot of memories and a lot of things to carry forward in life and to inspire others. That's what brings the element of inspiration in you. Pawan, you want to say something?
Yeah, the first actually, it's not just that you can relate, because there are certain aspects which you mentioned that even I can relate with, because I'm someone who is always on a lot of ideas, and this podcast is just happened just like that, because even I wanted to try something new and I started that along with Lakpreet. The same way, I have a supportive family which is asking me to do what I would love to do, and not go into the same, not never follow the herd. You should create your own path and then go on that. And of course, the friend circle, which even I don't have to literally talk about. I mean, we have all talked about it often in the last few days. So that being that, I would say viewers, you should just notice the way Priyal has talked about what she wanted to do and how she pursued it, and how she, it's not easy, first of all, being a shooter, because it also has a lot of, you have to have that time, money, a lot of things are put in. Because I've been a sportsman, even I know how difficult it is to just stay with the sport and then manage everything else. And the second thing is, it's not easy being a CA. Getting itself, you have all seen memes about how CA life can be and how much time it takes to be a CA. But Priyal has done that, and I think she's an inspiration for everybody. Uh, that goes, that's very clear. And I would just like to ask Priyal, in the context of how you have been able to uh, strive hard continuously despite whatever problems you would have faced. I'm sure there would have been a lot of many, because it's not easy in the CA world, or in, I would say, starting a new business or social entrepreneurship. It's not easy, because given the fact that here in India, there's a lot of things that will come about. In this, if at all you were faced by any obstacle, how would you just push through it? Because sometimes you have to have a particular mindset to defeat or overcome an obstacle. So that would be a key takeaway for all the viewers here, because having a proper mindset that you should do this, you should solve this in a certain way. So how would you solve your problem? That would be my question to ask, because I'm very curious, because that would be
No, I think that is
something a
a
lot of our
very
viewers would ask in the end. So
No, I
over to you.
think that is a very, very valid question. And I'm someone, I do not shy away from discussing my failures. Like, generally, people will shy away, not want to discuss failures, or even not want to admit the fact that they fail. But I can really openly admit that, I am at a phase of my life that I'm trying so many things. I am challenging myself. I'm taking risks. So if I have to, tell you that out of 10 things I try, I kind of succeed at 4, but I fail at 6, be it matches, or be it, any new venture that I'm planning within my social organization, or anything as a matter of fact, because there is so much you're learning. Every day is a new day, and especially with no great godfather, who's really sitting to support you. There are going to be things we are going to goof up, and we are all human. We all goof up at each, at some point or the other. So it's very natural to fail, but the most important thing is after you fail, you shouldn't stay there. You should keep going, because the only reason that I have accomplished so much till now is purely because of the fact is because I have vehemently refused to give up. If I fail, I'm going to try it again. I'm going to keep going. Even my friends, if I discuss with them that this didn't work out or that didn't work out, every time they just motivated me and told me that if I know someone who can really pull this off, it's you. So try, do not give up, keep going. So I think just believing in yourself is the key to deal with failure, and it's completely normal to fail. I think failure is really overhyped up in India. It's no big deal. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Of course. And this point of, collaborating with somebody, we can't hear you, Pavan. You have to unmute yourself and say.
Yeah, so I mean, brilliant. That's a brilliant point. I just like to tell you, this is what we need, and this is failure has been always, seen as something to fall back upon in India, because we are scared of failure. What is failure? It's also a part of success. Only if you fall do you get up. So, guys, girls, everybody out there, even if you fail, it's okay. You can always get up.
Yes.
That's it.
And of course, this point of, collaborating with others and probably socializing in a very sensible manner, and, talking to people who can pull it off with you is very essential, because every time if you look at an organization, the organization cannot run by just one person, right? You need different people, you
Exactly.
need different talents to bring it all together and to make it successful, right? So don't shy away from going and talking to people about your concerns. Like, Okay, I have been like me and Pawan. Let's take a very simple example in Seedhi Baat itself. Live, though, I think there were multiple times when we went to people and we asked for their suggestions if they were more learned, or even if they were like newbies, we asked for, okay, do you have some advice on this? Right now, during Seedhi Baat, we knew that we were two people working on multiple parts of this podcast, and releasing one episode takes in a lot of things because it begins with finding a guest, talking to the guest, finalizing a topic, creating all the graphics, then probably scheduling a meeting, preparing a questionnaire, asking questions, getting answers, recording it, editing it, putting it up, and then probably bringing it in front of you to and getting you to actually watch it, right? It's a lot of work, guys. And for normal with the normal life that we have, which includes other set of other things that we do know, our studies and our co-curricular activities, our passions and whatnot, it takes an effort, right? We go all out and ask our guests to help us out, right? To help us out with understanding what else can we do. Simply, maybe help ask our guests to probably get more guests. Nominate somebody they think that would be good for interviewing. That, in a way, cuts down the energy we have to put in, and also gives a chance for us and our guests to interact at a very personal level. So me and Priyul, we are connected ever since we recorded the first episode, and ever since that time, she has been, very, very supportive, and she's been an asset to this organization, though she's not directly involved in it. So that's how things work, right? This gives you a small glimpse of how just talking to people, telling them your concerns, and probably, utilizing each other's resources is so it makes a lot of difference. It gives you both a chance to excel and a chance to connect at a very personal level. So it's wonderful. I think Priyal has given some really practical advices on how she overcame her problems. I do have 2 to 3 important questions for her. Okay, I think till now the show has been quite interesting. We got to know, ideas that Priyal has and her personal experience, how she got out of situations. And I think that's unique. That's something authentic, but it's usually very helpful for others who are listening. For now, it might feel like a vague advice. Okay, that's something everybody would suggest. But when you relate that advice with somebody's personal experience, especially a girl who herself was in a society which is so judgmental, which is so questioning and interested in your life, you can understand, how overcoming all of that is quite a challenge. And me, right now, I'm 22 years old, and I can probably I'm experiencing this, this phase of my life is that phase where random people come from nowhere to give you random suggestions which have nothing to do with your life. So it's your duty to filter them out, and of course, not by giving rude replies or saying I don't care about you. No, but you have to have something in you that automatically speaks for yourself, right? And automatically lets people know that okay, maybe she's meant for something different that we don't know. So let's wait and watch what's gonna happen, right? Great. Okay, so I think a lot of women right now would be really interested to know, uh, why does that happen? Do you think, I mean, women are given equal opportunities at the first place? Because when we start the debate about women empowerment, there are a lot of people who come in and propose the idea of not being given equal opportunities. So what's your view about that? Even like Pavan said, he gave the example of politics where he was highlighting how women are given extra seats so that they can contest for elections. Looking at that, we feel that maybe they are given more than extra opportunities, but in the form of giving and not in the form of natural understanding, right? What's your perspective about this? Are there not enough opportunities, Priyal, really? Or are there enough opportunities, but maybe women are not aware of them? What's the gap?
To put it as, to be very straightforward and to put it as bluntly as I can, no, like we do not have equal opportunities because opportunities is not about it's not about just getting a chance to do something. You should be equally empowered to pursue that opportunity or, take it up. Now, if you had to take the example about politics, even if you're going to give women equal seats or equal opportunities, how many women as of today feel safe to really step into politics or pursue a political career? Because there is so much in the news you hear about, the entire corruption involved and the kind of crime rate among politicians, and how it is, pretty one-sided, and how you need to have some kind of an influence in that industry, in that field. Likewise, even when it comes to a corporate job or any other job, like even if a woman is equally qualified with a male candidate, somewhere at some point of time the entire question comes in that, you know, probably she'll get married in a year or two, probably soon she'll go on her maternity leave because she's going to have children. Like, will she be able to dedicate you know, that much of time or the same level of commitment, given the fact that she's going to be a mom to to a child soon? So all these questions do come up. Again, there are so many professions that women hesitate to pursue because those professions are just associated to the professions of men, and they are so highly, you know, male dominated. And like, for example, a few years back, like probably when our parents were in college, you know, women pursuing engineering was such a big thing because, oh my god, a woman is pursuing mechanical engineering, was doing aerospace engineering, because these professions are associated to be with men because of the kind of work involved or the working hours involved. Even today, when it comes to working late at night or something, so many women hesitate to do that because the entire safety issue comes into
Of
play. So
course.
when we talk about equal opportunity, it's not just, you know, like just giving them a chance. They should be empowered enough to, you know, take up the chance, and there's a lot of work that has to be done in and around that.
Of course. This is really true, because a lot of careers women don't even think about them, or they're not allowed to think about them, because apparently they are daring careers. And this is something what happened with me also personally. When I told my parents I wanted to pursue mass communication and journalism, I do understand the underlying concern and care of parents, especially of my mother, involved when she said that maybe you should, you know, you think about something else. But even after being for 4 long years in in a separate field, which is engineering, I did not lose that passion, that you know, likeness for this particular career, which is mass communication, right? And that's when my mom was convinced that maybe, you know, maybe she's meant for this. So we naturally attach a lot of things, and unfortunately, this care and attached judgment that comes with, we are responsible for that as well, because the environment is like that real. Let's say if girls were actually so safe to do night shifts, if they were safe enough to go and work in a very daring career, you know, if they were kept safe, and they were not probably they were not disgraced, or let's say their honor and pride and respect was not being haunted by certain people or certain powers in a particular profession, then maybe this wouldn't have happened, right? Maybe this judgment would not have been attached, at least to this extent. We have reasons, right? When as think about it, as a mother or as a woman yourself, right? When you think,
True.
look at situations like these, you know, little girls getting raped and little girls being harassed sexually, verbally, even on
Exactly.
social media, all of this happening, why do you think parents of young girls ask them to not go on social media platforms? Because they see all of this news headlines every single day. You know, I'm 22 years
Exactly.
old, and my mom actually on an everyday basis, you know, tells me to be very safe, to be very cautious of what content I'm putting out. Even right now, when we are on Seedhi Baat, she's like very concerned about what kind of content we are putting out, right? What kind of things are going up about me on this platform, because you can just do anything these days. Editing with social media, you can
Very
hurt
true.
a person's pride even while sitting continents away from that person, right? It's that
Yeah, or
powerful,
not having met that person
or
even
not having
once.
met that person. So given that so many discrepancies are happening, so many, let's say, what should I say, I mean, so many things happening, crimes happening, gives it way. It's like giving oxygen to the already lit fire, and making it very problematic for girls to excel in what they want to do. So of course there's a big role of society involved here, and we all have to make sure
Harpreet,
that we create. Yeah.
I might digress a little bit. I mean, I might
Sure.
disagree a little bit on that, because that might be the negative side. But then, if you look at the positives, if you look at the way women are entering the defense forces in
Of course.
particular, in the army, in the air force, and the navy, you see a lot of them. If you remember a few years ago, not very long ago, but just a few years ago, I think there was an all-woman crew
Yes,
uh,
I remember.
that
Flew
sailed
away.
across the oceans, and just the four Navy women,
Yeah.
Navy officers, they went around. So there are always these kind of, sometimes one might feel that crime or all this is highlighted to such an extent that they want to project a bad image and not necessarily the right, what
Of
might be
course.
the ground reality. There's always this perception difference. But
Yeah.
given that, there's always other, the positive aspect is always also has to be highlighted, and that is not just in defense. Let's take it even in the force field, like, a field which is often loosely, bandied about in terms of, in film industries, and in the upcoming generation are taking, I've seen a lot of women in the South particularly take up acting as a career and just going out all the way. And there are a few examples, and they have endured a lot in their circle, but they did not stop at that. They would continue, and there are a lot of such examples. And even in politics, for that matter, if you look at the way Jayalalitha in Tamil Nadu held fort for 20 long years, and you find that women have a lot
Of course.
potential, and they can do that on their own. They don't always
Well,
need some kind of an
yes,
assistant.
I agree with you on that, of course.
So that's also there.
And by highlighting this particular aspect of the entire situation, like thanks to Pavan that he highlighted the positives as well. But then, of course, we have to look at the situation on a very general level, right? Not all women have that privilege to probably get into these careers, and not all of them have this thought in itself, right? So a normal life of a woman who is not even in any profession, let's take generally a life of a woman, a life of a little girl who does not even know where she wants to go as of now, as a very immature person. I think she deserves all the safety. She deserves to live a life free from all sorts of judgments, free from all sorts of fears and anxiety, which automatically comes into girls and their parents when the girl is born. So that's one concern we all need to look at in a very positive manner. Of course, it's not highlighting the negatives, but it's like understanding the problem and probably going to the ground roots and seeing where maybe we are going wrong. All of this is built up on something that is happening on the ground level. And as a society, we're all a part of it, right? If right in front of me there's a little girl who's been harassed, or I know that I am being bullied online, then it's my responsibility to take action for myself, for that little girl as well. So as human beings and as a community, it's our responsibility to clear out these things at the ground level, that girls can move forward, and at least these small things won't come in their path. Because really, you'd agree with me on that. Even if something goes wrong, like a little bit of it, once it's gone, they say girl's reputation is like her entire life, and etc etc etc. And then
Exactly.
they are put in a very weird situation where they can't even think about getting out of it again. So
True.
girls
Very
have
true.
those certain restrictions on them, and we have to be very careful, because even if it's not because of us, we will be blocked from everything. That is where we need to look at the ground realities. Apart from that, Priyal, being a young woman leader yourself, what do you see, and what's your dream society? What's your dream of what's your idea of women empowerment, and how do you see that happening? What are your tips, or rather more than tips, I would say, what are your inputs as to how we can create that dream world that you think of for women?
So I think there is it just comes down to basic equality. If the, if the male gender has a certain set of opportunities or rights, it should be the same for women. Women shouldn't be judged just because they are matching shoulders with men, or that they're trying to walk side by side with them. It shouldn't be looked at as something different or something phenomenal or exceptional. We very well should be given the right to do that. And time and again, there have been instances where women have outperformed men and proved that we can manage leadership roles with the same versatility, with the same finesse. So a woman shouldn't be discouraged or shouldn't be looked upon just because she chooses her career over her family, or just because she chooses her career over everything else. And whatever choice she makes, it should be respected. Like, if we do not judge a man for what he is or for the choices he makes or the decisions we take, we have no right to blame a woman. And I think the day the society becomes open to this concept that that we cannot point a finger at a woman for what she is or how she chooses to be her life. It can be absolutely anything. If someone wants to get married at 20, that person should be allowed to get married at 20. If someone wants to stay single, even that should be looked at upon with respect. I mean, now we are living in an era where same-sex marriage is becoming a thing. So, I mean, we are still struggling with gender equality, whereas the Western world has moved over and started accepting same-sex marriage. So it just shows that we have miles to travel before we really can state some form of equality. But I think that's really the need of the hour.
Amazing. Well, Pawan, do you have something to add to this? Because I was planning I'll do a little rapid fire round with Priyal, keeping the legacy, continuing the legacy that we had from the last episode where we did a rapid fire with her on the audio podcast as well. We'll link that, guys, over here, up somewhere here or there, wherever. But we'll link it, and you can watch that episode. You can know more about Priyal's personal experience over there. Today, she did not talk about her own, life and how she went about it much, because she already has covered that in that particular podcast. And today, she really wanted to voice out for women who are not able to speak for themselves. And I think that's something I'm really proud of, and I salute her for that. She's been brave enough to come here and share, openly share the concerns that sometimes women are not able to talk about. Our mothers themselves have spent most of their life, sacrificing so many things at certain stages, for their husbands, for their families, for their siblings, for their kids, and they'll be sacrificing till their last breath. But most of them
Right.
don't ever speak, don't ever speak out about their sacrifices, and sometimes those sacrifices don't even
Right.
make them happy. Trust me, I know that for a fact. So we really need to,
Lakshmi, just a second. So I just like to put a small point, then we can move on
Pavan,
with
we
the
are
rapid
losing you.
fire. So,
Okay, yes, yes, yes.
no, I'm not. I'm muted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I would just like to add is viewers who have noticed and seen all the, we have listened to Priyal all the while. One thing we have to notice is that there's a perception and a mindset, and these have to change throughout if you want to progress as a society. And for India in particular, it's not just the modern construct, but even for the last, you can always, if you look at our history, you would only find that women have been the ones who have changed the course of Indian history and put it on a progressive path. And that is something we have to underscore here, because it is the women who save a lot, and put everybody, the family, in a proper position, in the sense it's not just that responsibility, but the fact is, it is amply clear that it is women who drive Indian society on a path of progress, unlike what is perceived often. So that has to be underscored properly, and that is what I wanted to convey. And over to you, Lovepreet, for the rapid fire.
Yes. So, Pril, you don't have to think about these answers, okay? I mean, even I didn't do any research, to be honest. I'm guilty of that. I just found a few very interesting questions. I'll just ask you random questions, and you have to give the answers to these questions without thinking about them, okay?
Okay, let's
Whatever
try
comes
this.
first in your mind, okay? Okay, so given that you're already famous, I don't know how much of this question will be surprising for you, but still, what would you do with your 15 minutes of fame without thinking?
15 minutes. 15 minutes of fame. I think I will really use it as a platform, like I am doing it right now, to create a dialogue around women empowerment, because I feel that is highly lacking. We really need to discuss that, and if I can stand anywhere and I can share my opinions or my views around it, or what really needs to be done, I would love to do that.
Wow, that was smart. Proves that you are working with Deloitte. Okay, next. What is your biggest addiction?
Oh, my biggest addiction. I mean, it's not really a phone addiction or a book addiction, but especially with respect to 2020, it's become a habit. I am I'm crazily into micromanagement. Like I have to, like, I'm a sucker for Google calendars, and the previous day I have to like literally plan my entire day, like, on an hourly basis, and I have all my tasks written off. And if something doesn't happen, it really it annoys me to a point that I'll be like, okay, I'm going to just sit at night, I'm going to finish this off, and only then I'm going to go to bed. So I think that's not always a good thing, because sometimes you should even take things easy, you should take things as they come. So yeah, I'm a crazy
So
micromanager.
relatable. That's so relatable. And guys, can you see how she's giving you some lessons and some tips with all the answers that she's answering? Okay, let's ask her a fun question now so that she cannot add some moral to it, probably. Complete this sentence, Priyal. When I dance, I look like.
I look like an idiot.
Okay. Okay. If you were famous for one day, what would you want to be famous for?
I think I'll just want to be famous for whoever I am. Like I've been asked that question previously, that if for a day you could be someone, or you could get into someone's body or do something of that sort, who would you choose? And I'm like, I'm just happy being myself. So even if you give me a day to be famous, I'll really want to be go out there and just be Priyal Keni. Like, I don't see any other reason why I should be anyone else, because I am what I am.
You know what I'm reminded of right now? You remember those classmate ads that used to come? One of your kind, be the one of your kind. You know that
Yes.
ad. It was all about individuality, and that's what I got reminded of when you said that. Amazing, amazing spirit. Okay, what is your least favorite beverage, Priyal? If somebody wants to take you out, then what should he not offer you?
So as funny as it may sound, I do not have alcohol. Like, I'm a non-alcoholic person. Like, my dad drinks, my friends drinks, but friend drink, but I've tried it, but I'm not someone who I'm really inclined or amused by the entire thing about having alcohol or socializing. Like, if at all I really want to have something, I'll probably order a cocktail or something too light, but I'm not into heavy drinks. So if you're
Amazing.
someone who wants to make plans of going out and getting drunk with me, that's not happening.
Same here. Okay, we are the gang who is not at all interesting. That way. Okay, another very fun question for you. Since we were talking about women, which is one of the fashion trends, women category, which you just did not get?
Hmm. I think the entire trend that was there in between, I don't know when it was, like a few years back, or probably sometime down in 2019 only. It
Mhm.
was about wearing these animal print stockings or leggings, especially the snake ones that were really trending. I mean, it made no sense to me because they look nothing but scary.
No, that's so relatable. What's your favorite song, Priyal?
It really depends. The kind of songs I listen to really depend on my
Mhm.
mood. But very recently, I happened to see Angrezi Medium, and I really liked the song out of there. I think Ek Zindagi or something. It's really motivating because the entire movie is about a small town girl who really wants to make it big in life by studying at her dream university, and I kind of really relate to that story.
Nice. Okay, this what is this one advice you got from somebody which was the most rewarding for you? This is the last one.
I think, I mean, as ironical as it may sound, time and again I've been reminded that you're a girl, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
I
that
mean,
was
why do
fun.
you
I think
have
I
to
have
be?
just one question left. It's a surprise question. It suddenly struck me. So,
Okay.
among the women leaders that you have seen, women personalities that you have seen, let's say there are lots in India, abroad, everywhere. In your field, I think there's a lot of them. So,
Yeah.
who was that one personality who you have taken as an inspiration? It can be a
Oh,
woman, it can be a man,
yes,
it can be anyone. Preferably women because of women empowerment.
I really, really adore Amal Clooney. I have listened to her so many times, and I really adore the fact how she's an exceptionally smart woman. She's graduated at the top of her class from one of the top universities of the world, that is Oxford. She knows how to carry herself. She has a personality, and she fearlessly voices her opinion time and again. Like,
Wow.
as a woman, the kind of work she's done, the people she's fought for, like, she's locked horns with the ISIS. She's fighting for human rights. She's fighting against sex workers. There's so many cool things she's doing. I think she's someone I really look up to. And someday I can even be 5% of what she is. I think I've achieved a lot, and I would have achieved a lot in life.
Amazing, amazing. You see, everybody has a role model. If the even the most incredible people whom we are looking up to are probably looking up to somebody. So it's a chain that goes on, and we keep inspiring each other. And inspiration we can get it from even small kids. We can get it from mature people. We can get it from our siblings, parents, friends, anybody. So always be open to learning from people and learning from your surroundings. That's what will distinguish you from other people. It was a pleasure to have you, Priyal, and I think it couldn't be better. You have, given all your effort to make this podcast a fun recording for us, and most probably a fun, episode to watch for others as well. We really hope you guys take something from here because it's not easy, guys. Somebody who has achieved all of it, it might look easier from from where we are. That okay, it's okay. That's nothing different, right? But when you go on to those paths and try to achieve something, it takes a lot of effort and it takes all the energy. And especially when women leaders like Priyal, they come up on this platform, I think women get a lot of empowerment and women just get this energy to start doing what they want to do right from where they are. So it was a pleasure to host you, Priyal. And thanks a lot for joining us, Pavan. I think we need more men like you who give chances to women to speak up and who are, providing lucrative environment and support to girls to grow as women leaders. I'm one of those who has whom he has always empowered. So it's really wonderful to have you. We really hope real the new year turns out to be even more successful for you than it has been before. And we really hope you, your family, your friends, all the people who have been with you through thick and thin, they stay well and they excel. They get a lot of chances to smile and feel proud of you. You are an exceptional person, and we really, really respect you for that. Thank you so much for joining us and voicing out your opinions so well, like brave women. If there is any message you want to give out to the youth, you can just take a moment and say it out.
Yeah, I think to anyone out there who is in their 20s or just starting out in their careers, like, don't limit yourself, don't set your boundaries, especially if you're a girl and you feel that this profession is kind of manly, or you feel you're not enough to do it. Don't limit yourself, just go for it. It's only when you really put yourself out there and you challenge yourself do you understand, what your true potential is. It so on some days you surprise yourself of, even how you outperform the benchmarks you set by yourself, and how you create your own trajectory to, sail towards your goals. So don't limit yourself, just go after it. And like, do not let failures get the better of you. Like, even if you fail and there are people questioning your ability, you just continue to believe in yourself and just keep at it. So I think that is the most golden advice I have got, and which has worked wonders for me. So that is something I'd like to forward with you as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that wonderful piece of advice and information, April. I think the entire episode has been, it's been very motivating and you have a lot of takeaways. So watch it completely and probably stop where you feel you can relate, where you feel you have to add something, where you feel you want to communicate with us. Stop right there and comment down below. Share it with all the women around you, who you really respect, and try to show them some love always, even in actions. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing our channel for more such videos, and we'll keep bringing such wonderful people in front of you, who are extraordinary, but they're doing extraordinary works in their life and otherwise ordinary because they are like us. We can all relate to them, and they all have stories like our stories, right? We hope to see you next time very, very soon on the third episode of the New Year series, which is going to be super, super fun. We have another very, very interesting guest coming up in the next show. So stay tuned, guys. Happy New Year. Lots of love and positivity your way. And we will catch you soon in the next episode. Till then, take care and keep smiling. Bye bye.